A war is coming on the Essequibo region between Venezuela and Guyana. Today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
Welcome to the beautiful city of Puerto Piritu on Anzoátegui State, just half an hour drive from my hometown Lecheria, where we are right now on the Arena Casa Club. Beautiful place on the city of Puerto Piritu. Please check it out. The link of their Instagram account is on the description, and today we are going to discuss the possibility that is a future war between Venezuela and Guyana due to the Essequibo region. Now, what's the real possibility of a war on the Essequibo region between Venezuela and Guyana? Well, first, let's put it in numbers. The Venezuelan military forces are by far a juggernaut compared to the Guyana military forces, the GTF. Venezuela, between active personnel, there is over 100,000 military personnel, plus another 100,000 of reserve, so it's a quarter of a million on overall military personnel. Meanwhile, Guyana, between their active personnel, that I have to say is very well trained, especially on these particular issues with border disputes and this jungle-like territory of the Essequibo region, is not probably, they're probably well prepared, way better prepared than the Venezuelan forces on the active military personnel. However, if you add the reserves, only adds up around 5,000 members, active members, and plus the reserve on the Guyana armed forces. After that, the similarities just start to drift apart. Venezuela has every kind of military equipment, tanks. Also, the Air Force has many aircraft, military aircraft like the F-15, like the F-16, and has the Sukhoi Russian aircraft. Now, regarding the Navy, it's not even close. Venezuela has a huge army, huge navy of frigates and sea armed carriers. Now, the issue is with their each political alliances. First, Venezuela is supported by Russia. Right now, Russia is dealing with their own war with the Ukrainian border, and already we're due to reach the 2-year mark on this particular war on Ukraine, and Russia will be first interested to start a war on South America, just a few thousand miles from US soil, so that will be an advantage for the Russian Federation and Putin right now. So politically, they will support the Venezuelan government and also probably be a supplier for weapons on this hypothetical war. Then you have China. China, unlike Russia, China, of course, is a good ally, a relatively good ally of the Venezuelan government. However, they still have very good diplomatic ties with the Guyana government and the current president. And also, they have some dealings, some investments on the Essequibo region. So, which government they will support on an eventual war on the Essequibo region? We don't know. They will be with Venezuela and probably attack the United States and all of these Western superpowers. But you know how politics work. Very good. And of course, Venezuela probably will have some support of the left-leaning politicians and heads of states of Latin America. You have AMLO, you have Gustavo Petro in Colombia, you have Lula da Silva on Brazil. However, Lula apparently is kind of neutral and he's moving some troops with this on the border between Brazil and the Essequibo region. So they share a border with this couple of nations. However, if an eventual war starts, maybe Maduro won't have the full support or maybe lose overall the support of many of the left-leaning presidents and heads of states on each country, each nation of Latin America. Very good. Now, Guyana apparently has the support of the British government, the Commonwealth of the British government, and also have some support of the United States. Even there is some talks that the US can establish military bases on the Essequibo region. There is just apparently a rumor, maybe just a bluff. We don't know at the moment. Very good. And unlike, we can say that, yes, both the US and Guyana, both the US and the UK, they are allies of the Guyana government. However, they won't send their own troops in order to die for a cause that is very far from their territory and probably not on the direct interest of both the US population and the UK population. So maybe they can support on an eventual war, maybe with money, with funding, with arms and military equipment, but that will be it. And that's very good. We will win that war. Well, if we go with the numbers and the sheer military power of the Venezuelan Republic, Venezuela will win easily that war. And that's it. However, I mean, we have seen cases like Vietnam, and recently we are seeing in Ukraine, where Russia apparently having a way bigger military strength is not, I mean, it was more, more even as we initially expect. So, 2 years and going. Okay. However, regarding if the US and the UK invest, say invest, or they just fund the Guyanese government, but still they don't have the manpower in order to sustain a prolonged army conflict. However, they have the tactical advantage that they know the territory is a jungle territory, and Guyanese military personnel knows this territory way better than the Venezuelan military. So it will be uncertain, but just by the sheer numbers of the military personnel and manpower and military power overall, weapons and such, and equipment, Venezuela should win easily, just on a few months. However, the political implications, it's something that we have to consider. And of course, Maduro right now is fairly strong on his power within Venezuela. Outside, actually, he recouped a lot of power. It has a decent relationship with the United States after that was smashed by the Trump administration. They have a kind of decent relationship with some members of the European Union, of course, with the Middle East, with China and Russia, now with, I'll say, half of Latin American heads of state. However, the war probably is not what he wants. Something that you have to recall when you try to analyze the mindset of the Venezuelan government is that the Venezuelan government wants to stay in power. They've been over 20 years in power since 98, 99, and they cannot leave the political power. They cannot just go like a normal, quote unquote, regular democratic country. They won't leave the country. They're doing anything on their power in order to remain in power, in office, in charge. And most likely they won't lose political power within Venezuela. However, they don't want a full blown out incident internationally that can remove them from power. So that's the first priority for the Venezuelan government, is not the Essequibo. If they can amass and take maybe one part at least to fully get a part of the Essequibo region, maybe not the whole territory, and maybe get some oil licenses and so on. So it's very funny that the thing that we're going to see in the future. But however, if you ask me, and I can be mistaken, I mean, I'm not Nostradamus, it's not going to be a full-scale war on the Essequibo region. We saw what happened in Russia and Ukraine just a couple of years ago and still going. Now the issue with Israel and Palestine just a few months ago. But in Venezuela, believe me, most likely it won't be the case of a war. We're going to see, a lot of, tongue-in-cheek situations between heads of states and declarations and so on and so on and so on and so on. But the main issue for the Venezuelan government is stay in power, remain in power, and they won't do anything in order to jeopardize that particular conundrum. However, if they can take a little bit extra, taking over some, at least part of the Essequibo region, they will do it. And that will be it.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.